ritualistic ceremony. You partake of the life of Christ by believing the shed blood. Is that plain? Hello? If you don't like it, lump it. But that's what the Bible teaches. And that's what Paul, he was having to get them back to believe. And then you'll find he goes on and he says, who, verse 15, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature. For by him, that's by Jesus, were all things created that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible. Now, he's establishing for the Colossian church, he's saying, hey, understand this. God created everything, visible and invisible. His creator God. And anyone that does not believe in God creating heaven and earth and all that is in it, visible and invisible, cannot be a Christian. Now, the Greek philosophers believed that God was kind of there, and it was an angel that created everything, and there was good angel and bad angel, and the two fought each other, and the bad angel had made everything evil. And now the bad angel was in charge on earth. And so the only way was transcendental meditation. To get out, you've got to get in your spirit to get out. It's amazing how many charismatics are trying to get out of their body into their spirit. You need deliverance. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones, or dominions, or principalities, or powers. All things were created by him and for him. Now, do you believe what God says? Hello? Everything was created by him and for him. That's every principality, every power. I can't understand the Christian voodoo witch doctors from America who want to go in for spiritual warfare. Totally unbiblical, totally wrong, totally stupid. Goes on and makes it even plainer. Verse 17, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. There is nothing that has reality and life and being that does not have the power of God supporting it. There's nothing in heaven or earth that exists in creation without his power maintaining it. It consists by him. Is that plain? Now, if you don't believe that, and that's every throne, every dominion, every principality, every power, everything visible, everything invisible, the only thing that gives it any substance is God. Plain enough, isn't it? Now, I find so many Christians don't believe that. I can't understand how anyone could not believe in creation. It just shows they've never received the Spirit of Christ. They're none of his. Because it's a fundamental of truth. And you have to know, and you have to know it, because God lives in your mortal flesh, and you cannot deny what you know because you've met the living God. And if you haven't met the living God, you can't believe it. And so it's part of a Christian. It's so, I tell you, till I was born again and filled with the Holy Ghost, I could not believe. But when God sovereignly spoke to me, chose me, birthed me, filled me, all by his action, I tell you, I could not believe. Impossible. And I find it absolutely impossible to question it, because I just know it's true. Look, Jesus was there. He's eternal. He was there at the beginning. He was before the world was. He created everything. When he walked on earth, he believed it. Are you smarter than him? Smarter than God? Well, shut up. It's strongholds of Satan in your mind. Somehow you think your puny little intellect is greater than God. And that's stupid, isn't it? Believe you're greater than God. And so that's plain. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in Jesus should all fullness dwell. And verse 21, you that were sometimes alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight, if you continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel. Now, what is the hope of the gospel? Christ in you. And you see, what has happened in Christendom is people get saved, get born again, and then they get a philosophy from Christians that totally take them away from the simplicity which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Hey, he is my righteousness. It's not what I do, it's what he did. He's my life. He lives in me. It's not how I do it, it's how he did it. He gave me a gift. It's called the gift of life. I don't have to struggle to be what he is. I live, nevertheless not I, but Christ liveth in me. And the life that I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. I find too many people are trying to get in the spirit. Come down. God's spirit, you're in the flesh. I live in the flesh. When I meet people, I meet their flesh. I don't meet their spirit. And when people saw Jesus, they didn't meet his spirit, they met his human being. He was man. He was God. Listen, Christ has come in